everyone. Welcome to another episode of In Our Humble Opinion. Ayo. My name is Gilbert Cheah, and I am joined here by my dear friends. On my right is Daisy Irani,
Namaste.
And on my left is Chris Henson.
Oh, here we go. Hi, everyone.
So this week we have got strange stories to talk about. We got a strange story first about security cameras being hacked in Singapore. We got the strange and odd behavior and tweets from people in Malaysia talking about men's role, which we'll discuss, which has gotten a lot of internet controversy. We're going to talk about strange practices in Singapore of people hanging pork outside their windows. Yes, pork, not clothes. And we've got a strange and sad story of a selfless father who was caring for his mentally ill daughter until a tragedy happened. And then we'll go into the strange statistic of how dengue has now equaled COVID in deaths. So, interesting subjects for us to cover. Let's start off with this disturbing but very important story for all of us to understand and to know, is that footage from security cameras in Singapore homes have been hacked. Basically, it's home cameras that were hacked, and then the footage has been uploaded online onto a pornographic website where people pay money to watch hacked footage from security cameras. It's a worldwide site, and there are 50,000 hacked cameras. And these strange, perverted people pay US $150 to have access to look at people's hacked footage. Now, it's important to note that cybersecurity is a very important topic, and this is just one example of it. So we're going to talk more about this and sort of discuss what we all need to know and need to do, okay? So first I'm going to get my impressions from you guys. What's your thoughts? Chris.
Oh, my meatballs.
Imagine if your footage was uploaded. That would scare people.
I would charge more money.
I can imagine.
You take a part of the.
Actually, that just came to my mind was what Chris would be doing when he's alone at home, like cutting toenails.
I don't know, man. I might be scratching someplace where nobody should watch me scratch, while I'm watching Netflix or something. Well, I mean, it's unsurprising to me. I've said this before. Routers can easily be hacked as well, and then people use your IP address to send funny things to someone else.
Yes.
And then eventually, if the guy won't get caught, you get caught instead unwittingly, right?
Yes, exactly.
You buy cameras, and they're IP cameras. They've got individual IP addresses. So obviously, the same thing can happen to the cameras.
Yep.
And it's also rather obvious that once you have those, you got to consistently and constantly change your passwords. And the passwords must always be really strong. But here's the thing.
Who thinks about doing that, though?
It depends on the kind of job you do.
Yeah.
If you're in a job where it's very sensitive, for instance, where public or private information gets leaked, you're going to get into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
So your own devices, if you're dealing with things like that, it depends on your profession, you're dealing with things like that, you've got to really make sure cybersecurity and cyber health is taken care of.
Totally.
Because the liability is yours. But a lot of people are not in that kind of work.
Absolutely.
And because they're not doing work like that, they don't really think about it, especially when it comes to, but this is my home.
Yes.
This is my blue heaven.
Yes.
And I don't expect my blue heaven to be invaded this way. Maybe through from a burglar, perhaps, but not like that digitally, right?
Yes.
So frankly, changing passwords with uppercase, lowercase, and numerals and symbols, it's a pain in the ass.
Yep.
Okay?
And that's why they're gonna see if you don't change your password.
Yeah. So frankly, you have the cameras there, some for good reason, because there are kids in the house, and it's a good thing to have. Some have it because the helpers are there.
Yeah.
I wonder why, Okay, granted, there have been cases where helpers were caught because of the cameras, because they were abusing the kids or whatever.
Yeah.
and it served its purpose. But in my home, I don't see a need for it. I'm not just because I'm saying that right now. I might be open for.
No, but the thing about it is people use these cameras for a variety of things, and they put them in general areas, not in the private bedrooms usually.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's why you guys, if you read the article, you can see that people who are semi-naked walking around in the bedrooms, people who are, doing the do in the bedroom. What the heck is a camera doing?
Yeah, it could
in
be
your
for.
bedroom?
In all fairness, right? It could be basically they installed it there and they just did not think about it. And then when you go about your daily business and you do things, you kind of forget that there's a camera up there. And the scary thing basically is that because these are IP cameras, they can basically be accessed from anywhere in the world. That's the reason you get them, is so that when you're traveling or when you're in the office, you can check in on what's happening at home. But it's just that other people are checking in.
But them gundu, right?
Yes.
Really? You know what's gundu now, Daisy?
Yes.
Gundu. It can be spelled
you don't-
Goondoo or Goondu. Up to you.
Chris, you don't talk like a gundu. Huh? I've been around long enough to know what is gundu.
Just checking.
I just want to say, I read this and I was really scared. I was scared because technology has just permeated each and every part of our life. I mean, that's what scares me. You see, okay, so I'm not so savvy with all the technology. But there's so many things I just take for granted when you go to buy something, whether it's a camera, whether it's equipment, whether it's anything like this security cameras. You go out there and say, I want to make my home, my life secure. And that's what then gets you into trouble.
Yes.
And there, and I've started realizing that, oh my God, you can just have a simple laptop and there the camera is looking at you.
Yes, exactly.
You can have security cameras to secure your life, and there other people are looking at you in bed. I mean, this is really, really scary. It's even worse than those upskirt videos.
Yep.
Because I'm thinking, what is the next step? What is your recourse? Is there a legal recourse when you realize other people, these hackers, are looking into you having sex in your bedroom?
Yes, no.
I mean,
the answer
that
is no.
scary.
No recourse because they are
scary,
international.
scary.
But we have to protect ourselves, and even your own phone. And this is something which a lot of people don't realize, is that when you download a piece of software, for example, it will ask for permission to access your camera, license agreement. And most of the time, it's perfectly legitimate. For example, if you're using WhatsApp, they have to have access to
Or
your camera.
Google Maps.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, how are
yeah.
they going to
Yeah.
show you anything if you don't have the camera?
Yeah, so with this access, there are some apps that can either be hacked or they are nefarious and they actually access your camera. It's come to such a point, it's not a rare thing that the newest iPhones actually have got a green light and an orange light to let you know when an app is using the camera.
I'll give you a real life example. I know of someone who shared this with me, that he was blackmailed.
Ah, oh God.
Okay?
It's really scary.
Because I'm not going to say what he was doing, but it involves his phone.
Oh, wow.
And this person sent him the image. And this person is a complete stranger from somewhere else in the world. Yeah. Okay? Of him doing whatever he was doing.
Which is blackmailable.
No, but
Doing something
Yeah.
which is
And-
was
blackmailable.
he indulging in video cam or what?
No,
He
it
was
was just...
indulging in something
He was
else.
indulging in something else.
which is
On the
blackmailable.
screen.
No. Because sometimes people...
I don't want you to get conjunctivitis.
Thank you.
Hello,
Thank you.
what's the story then? What happened?
So basically, someone sent him a message.
Still photo.
And no, the whole
video.
And apparently accessed his camera. And he was in a state of absolute bliss, you know?
God.
Yeah. And and asked him for a few $1,000s, or this goes out worldwide.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
How
so
did he solve that?
I have no idea. I have no clue. I didn't ask him.
No, but
Because
that
but that happened. And then I was also told, I don't know how true this is, could be, smart TVs today, they've got cameras too, apparently. Apparently, people can actually
have
hack
to
into
switch
your
off
smart
your-
TV. No,
switch off your TV.
I don't know whether this is an urban legend or urban myth, yeah, where even normally we don't switch off the main switch.
Yes.
We just go to remote control.
Yes,
we close.
yes.
It's on standby.
On standby.
yeah.
But screen
The
is
camera's
black.
on.
The screen is black.
Yes.
But apparently it's still functioning.
Okay, so it's okay. Smart TVs, if they're being used as a computer monitor, will have a webcam.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then it is like your
laptop.
Yes.
Okay, which has got a little camera looking at me right now.
Right.
So
I was looking at you yesterday when you were looking at your Mac.
Oh my God, you're hacking into his. But you know what really scares me? And I know I'm digressing.
Now he's going to worry the whole night.
No, but you know what really scares me is banking, all right? I know. My family keeps telling me it's secure. My children tell Mama, it's all right. You have to move on.
Yes.
But
You
you
don't have
know,
to worry about
when
that
you're,
because the
no,
banks know
but
what they're
there
doing.
have been.
Yeah.
I mean, but now you can make out because there are so many security steps
Yes.
that you realize what is the danger lurking.
I think the one you need to worry more about besides banking isn't so bad. What you ought to worry about is what you use your bank for. For example, if you were to purchase something even from a trusted site, especially sites that's got different vendors, right? I won't name those sites here on the show, okay? But you should know what I'm talking about. Especially, the ones with a guy named Jack. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, so if you buy something, it happened to me. If you buy something and it's legit because it's from a legit site, everything's secure. It's all cool. But what these guys tried to do was, I buy this one item and they continue charging for it.
No, but then
And then the bank came in and the bank stopped my card.
Yes. The good thing is that if you're using credit card, using PayPal, you are protected that way. The what we were discussing here about your security of your own devices, both your phones and your laptops and your security cameras at home. That's a very scary issue.
Yes.
So
yes.
the bottom line basically is I think people really need to educate themselves. If you're going to be using these devices, just be aware of the potential problems inside there. Don't use the default password because many people actually still.
Frankly,
No,
mate,
but you know, when you spoke about those passwords, I mean, how much can you remember?
How many permutations can you come up with?
No, and the irony is, you put the password somewhere, and you're damn scared that somebody will find those goddamn passwords.
Okay, hello, Grandma Daisy. Let me just also tell you this. There's this thing called Password Manager.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay? So it can also generate passwords for you.
Yes, and look after it
and
for
look
you.
after it and
Yes.
remember them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and it will not be hacked.
Yes. Well, it's very secure.
That one we don't know.
Oh, yeah, that one we
it's
don't
very,
know.
No, it's very
People
secure.
get cleverer and
It's very
cleverer.
secure.
Yeah.
You got to realize that for the people who want to do these things, they do not go after complicated technical stuff. They want to go the easiest route.
Yeah.
It's the people who do not do these basic
Grandma
things,
Daisy,
basically.
yes,
Yes,
right,
exactly.
yeah.
No, can you just say cool
Grandma.
Grandma Daisy, cool,
Cool
baby.
Grandma Daisy got hacked.
I didn't yet. You know why? Because I don't have all these
Although
fancy
she will
cameras.
be less likely that people want to hack to look.
Don't be like that, lah. Don't say. But the point is, look at it this.
Although that has a market.
No,
of its own.
burglars. Look,
Yeah.
you're talking only about those kind of things which they might not want to see. But heck, what about just looking at a home, finding out when are they leaving, when are
Yeah,
they
that one they
coming,
don't need
and
the security
burglar-
camera.
Okay,
lah.
okay.
They watch from outside can see.
Okay, you're getting
Outside
paranoid
can-
now.
yeah,
You're getting
that
way
one,
too
yeah.
paranoid. But you know something? The
What
old
about
technology still works. It's called analog, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're
Thank
it's
you.
dying out. It's dying
The
out.
cool Grandma
definitely.
Daisy is using that, baby.
Yeah, I can tell.
So anyway, talking about old-fashioned, well, let's go on now
To
to
the next story.
another strange story. Daisy, why do you introduce this and see what you think about this?
Well, it's about men. So I'm going
Some
to
men,
introduce
some
some men.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Well,
yes.
Yes.
The title of this story is Men Must Not Wash the Dishes. And so you have this Malaysian man's, this controversial statement that he put on Twitter has caused online uproar.
Online
Online uproar.
Slowly,
So,
slowly, okay? Slowly.
Wan Abdullah Yusri, the person who made the tweets, he lives in Penang, Malaysia. And he just put down the tweets, and I'm going to read the translation because it was in Malay. He was eating at Ayah Long, his eldest uncle's house. And there are rules that men, he said, would love. And some of these rules are a hand-washing bowl must be present at the table.
Okay, fine.
The one that irked netizens was the men will eat first, the women will be on standby to see what's not enough, and they will refill a dish and drink when needed. And men aren't allowed to take their plates away, and men must not wash the dishes. Now, he also added to say that his aunt had scolded him many times for washing the dishes after he'd finished eating. She told me that men's job is to eat. Cooking, serving, and cleaning are women's jobs. And that drove people crazy, and many netizens were angered by the tweets stating that the men in the family were misogynistic and sexist.
Okay.
So, women are not slaves. And so it went on and on.
All right. Okay.
So what do I
Yes.
have to say as a woman?
Yes.
Well, I do need to say there's something important, that there's a whole generation of women out there who were not educated, or even some of them who are educated.
Yes.
Now, they don't go to work and they stay at home, and their relevance is looking after their home and earth. And they just want to be the best mother, the best wife. They want to service the family completely, fulfill each need of the family, okay? They do not find this insulting. I'm talking about a certain generation
Yes,
here.
yes, yes.
They do not find this insulting. They take great pride
Well,
in what
actually,
they do.
this
So
came
you
from
can't-
the woman.
Correct. But you see, it's a certain generation.
Yes.
It's a certain tradition. It's a certain time. Even now, when you go to certain countries, even here in Singapore, I have friends. Well, not that the men can't wash the dishes. It's not that far off. But they take great pride in saying, my husband will only eat this the way I cook it.
Yeah, okay.
My daughter will only
Sure,
do this.
yeah.
So it's how they want to be valued.
Yeah. Understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But having said that, of course, times have changed now, and the contemporary thinking is different.
Sure.
Of course, it should be. Equality means that both the men and the women should work together to share the burden of housekeeping and parenting and everything. But heck, man, that was tradition. He was talking about, elder uncles thing.
Yeah, it's interesting because he's not the one saying that I refuse to wash the dishes or anything like that. He's telling that his aunt said this.
Yeah.
All right. And I think what you say is very true. Is that there are generations that have gone by that think
Yeah.
this way.
Yeah.
They are misogynistic dinosaurs.
Oh dear.
Okay. Yes. Look, I can't stand it when I read. There's some more tweets that came out, defending him, and it says, he's an old man from a different era where men were breadwinners and women were caretakers. If you want to disagree, go ahead. But to curse and insult a man who is older than you is a tad much. Being disappointed with yourselves. You say you're modern, how can you forget our traditions? Look, traditions too sometimes must evolve.
Exactly.
I'm not saying evolve to the point of no return.
Yes.
Or evolve to something where there are no values.
Yes.
But what are you teaching your sons, you clown?
Yeah.
Okay, because look, is there any harm for men to chip in to help the women together? No one's topping the other.
Yeah.
I mean, if we really want to be traditionalists and we were to quote Genesis, Eve was not taken from the top of man to top him, or from his head to top him, or from his feet to be trodden upon. She was taken from his side to be his equal. So,
Yep.
I mean, where the heck did this rubbish come from? I don't agree with women who are also sexist sometimes. Okay? I can't stand it. Yeah? But I also can't stand men who behave as if they rule the roost. That's where we see in today's modern age families break down.
Chris, where you spoke about when you're giving the man's, and I really appreciate what you're saying. And yes, I know my son would be that way. But you know what is ironical? A lot of these traditions are passed down by women. So what happens is, when you're in a family, the mother or the grandmother, and they bring down these rules, and it all is under the guise of tradition. Till in today's day and age, there will be a woman who will stand by and say, no more.
But
We are equal
But
now.
they say, you never know. You never know what else have been passed down through the generations in the wardrobe of the great grandmothers to the great grandmother, the grandmother, the mother, and now whoever she is, open a wardrobe and you see, oh, this tight rubber suit has been passed down through hundreds of years.
Correct.
And
That's
you
why
know,
it's
No.
important.
and this whip that I've got wasn't just for the horse
but
back
we have
then.
somehow
That's
other
why
de-
it's
de-
important.
deviated.
No, that the woman, I feel that the women play a very vital role in changing these traditions.
This is the thing about it, though, is that you can indoctrinate a woman or generation of women into believing their role is this. And
Yeah.
when you deny them education, they have no other option but to just be at home.
yeah.
And, I think that we should be fighting it. I think even here in Singapore, it's often been said, and I do agree, that there are many men who have actually gone through their entire lives without washing a single dish. And the reason is because the mother always washed the dish, then the maid washed the dish, and then the wife washed the dish. Of course, there are men who are not like this.
Got SAF got to teach some of them, but nowadays also SAF don't tell you to do it.
That's true.
Nowadays the aunties can wash the plates for the soldiers. Huh?
But you
That's
know
true.
what I in this whole situation, what I really liked was actually this backlash in its own way was for a good reason. It was a good cause because these are timely reminders that yes, sir, more of us need to reject this notion
Yes,
of women
exactly.
being subjugated.
And that-
so when it riles up,
Yes.
once in a while
there's
it's a good.
I saw this
thing.
recently,
Yeah.
which I love. They said a woman's place is in the house, as well as the Senate.
Yes,
I like
yes.
that.
Now
and it
you're
is
talking.
not just in the kitchen. And talking about kitchen,
But not on the Supreme Court.
not this one anyhow. There
Yeah.
are there have
But
been
there's Ruth.
great
No.
women
Yes,
on the Supreme
No.
Court.
I want to have one
Ruth
last say
Bader.
on this topic before we move on to the next
Yes.
one. What happened? It's so a man is a man because he's the way. This is his gender, right?
And it's
everything's
God's will.
intact.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
Everything is intact.
everything's intact. But what happens when it comes to an age where he needs to buy the blue pill and the blue pill doesn't work anymore for him? So is he still considered a man?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
when
Then he better bloody wash the dishes if he can't get it
that's
up
when he
anymore.
installs
You know
the
what I mean?
security cameras.
Why? There's
just
there's nothing to see because the darn thing is always looking down.
No, that he's washing
at-
the dishes.
It's looking in Daisy's house.
Okay.
Okay,
We shall
so
move on to.
okay, yes, okay. So the fact that we do not believe that women's role is in the kitchen, and talking about kitchens,
The kitchen and
yes,
not that it's not in the kitchen.
yes, the kitchen.
It's
not
also
only in the kitchen.
Yes.
So
Okay,
talking
moving
about
along.
kitchens, we
Yeah.
have this strange thing, and honestly, it's the first time I've ever heard of such a thing before. West Coast Town Council, a man was hanging raw pork belly outside of his window to dry, basically. And obviously, this caused a lot of distress with his neighbors for lots of reasons. One was the smell, the drippings was hanging outside of the HDB unit, why do people do this, and why do they think it's okay? I would never think about doing this, especially in a multi-religious society like Singapore.
Lucky thing I got no brown underwear, boy. If I
They
hang
would
my...
have-
Imagine the size of my circus tent underwears, you know what I mean? If it's brown coloured hanging outside the window. Oi! What's that?
Pork belly.
Sioba. You hanging your sioba outside the window.
What tipped the neighbors off was the smell. So hopefully your underwear doesn't
It's
have...
washed.
Oh my
Can you just-
God.
can
Now
you
it's
just hang the washed one?
multi-sensorial
Chris,
grossness.
can you just hang the washed ones, please? Yeah.
My nose is...
Uh,
Never mind.
Do you smell it?
No,
Do
no,
you
no,
smell
no.
it?
Let Chris Henson,
Smells of raw
now that he's spoken about underwear and pork belly all in one sentence, maybe you should tell us what do you think about this, Chris?
Yes. So there's actually a photo of it.
Yeah,
where
yeah,
You
yeah.
can
The
see the...
eight
Eight, huh?
Eight
yeah.
pork bellies being
It's right
hung.
there next to the teko in the gala.
Sweet.
Okay, I'm supposed to be talking. You see, you leave all these horrible things to me to do.
Because you give insight into the common
Oh,
man.
I give insight, huh?
Yes.
Oh, then I get inside your head. Yeah.
Yes, you have.
You know something? Yeah, if you said just now you have not seen anything like this. Back in old Singapore, there are a lot of people
Yes.
who trade in a lot of stuff. You know, it could be even shark's fin back then, or anything that's got to be dried food stuff. And they literally like hang them outside the shops like laundry.
Sure.
You know?
I think that's fine. It's a shop. Or
Yeah,
if
so
it's a landed property
what this
or kampong.
article, yeah, but what this story doesn't tell us is who was the guy, how old was he? You know, this person, it could be a woman too, let's not be sexist, who don't hang out these things. It could be an older person, you know, who just needed to dry these things out and didn't know. It was unwitting. He probably didn't think it was wrong, you know. And then people go ape shit crazy when they say, hey, how can you do that kind of thing? Cow pay, cow boo. Again.
Cow pay, cow boo.
I'm not saying what he's doing is right. It's wrong, definitely. But people are making such a meal of it to the point that these bunch of jokers from this particular site had to write about it. Why?
You know, Chris, I agree with you there because this is exactly like how we were talking about tradition, okay?
You see,
I'm
it's
not
posted,
really
posted in
sure,
Complaint Singapore.
But but I'm just assuming that
you know,
if it was a tradition in those days and you hung your pork
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
and you look now you're in this HDB flat
gotta
and you're
be
like, where the
considerate,
hell
what?
am I? No, I agree. But
And you can buy pork now. You don't have to.
No, nobody
do it
says
yourself.
know.
nobody's saying
But
it's wrong. Is
maybe
right.
this
Yes.
person
It's wrong.
Yes. And I don't think we needed to bring race into it. Sometimes, you know, it's a random incident.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
but-
wrong.
okay.
No one's
They-
talking
they
about
were-
race. It's
No,
just
no,
that
but-
pork itself is.
It's called being
True,
considerate,
true.
sure.
But
sure.
the point is, if that person had thought that much, that person wouldn't be hanging it. But she, whoever was told, they accepted it and they moved on.
Exactly.
It's a
So what's the
random
point
incident.
of taking a picture of
And
this?
yeah, and making
right?
a big deal
Although
about
you can't
nothing,
see the
isn't it?
house and all, but then what's the point in making a meal of this almost
I
becoming a
think
meal
because
soon?
it's just it's not literally, but you know, maybe literally, but because it's just so unusual and you know. But hang on a second, okay? What we're missing here is that the practice has gone on for years.
Exactly.
And the stench from the meat had been prevalent as neighbors interviewed all said they had caught a whiff of it whenever there was a breeze. Okay? So obviously, and the meat jerky was then sold at nearby Golden Mile complex. So obviously this is not a one-off thing with one old person who decided
It was
to
a
do this.
tradition.
It was an enterprise.
Correct.
Someone's doing business.
You know,
this
the
way,
only thing
which I
I've-
think, you know, buy a dehydrator and you know.
No, but you know what I
invest
find,
in it.
like what you said, the lucky part was that the pork belly did not crash on someone's head.
Yes.
Because that would have been the first case of falling pork belly killer litter.
No, I don't think it will kill anybody. It's so
You
soft.
don't know.
Actually,
From
from
the
a killer
height.
litter, did you all see this fascinating video? I have to show it to you about this man walking on the street. I think it was in China, and a cat fell on him, and then he passed out. And then a dog came running, and the dog was wearing shoes. I don't know why, because this is China.
Right.
And the dog went to try to attack the cat.
And then,
And then?
what happened to the man?
The man was left lying there because that was when the video ended.
Death.
Just for
So this was a case of death by pussy cat.
Yeah.
well, it was a kitty litter.
So it can also, yeah.
Well,
it can
very
also-
witty you are.
yeah.
Not bad. Man, give me a five.
So it can
Actually, I
also
don't know
be.
hi-fi. Is it left hand or right hand?
You very rude lah. Right hand lah. Left
right
hand
hand,
people
okay.
used to. You know,
Okay,
go
okay,
toilet,
okay.
you use left hand.
You
you
okay,
eat
okay,
things,
right
you use
hand. Now
right
I
hand.
know,
You
okay.
peranakan, you should know, right?
In fact, I've
Yes.
heard
Cibuk.
more incidents about
Cibuk.
people complaining about cooking curry. I mean, if you want to talk about
Oh yeah,
race
of
and
course,
all
of course.
that.
But that one is different. That
Because-
one is in your own flat, and it's just
No,
a
but that's like
smell.
the smoking,
this one
right?
is hanging out, and this is for years. This person has been doing.
Oh,
it, you know.
he's been doing it for,
for years. It's not.
I
one-time
thought
shot.
it's just a tradition.
No.
that-
He's been doing
So
it for
people
years.
noticed it
Yes.
now?
Okay.
it's just become
Wait. You serious about this? Daisy's made a point actually. If you cook curry, some people can't stand the smell of curry.
Yeah.
And if these people cook curry every day, every night, because it's tradition for them to eat curry, they love it so much, for years, it will still flow out of the kitchen and whiff up to your neighbors.
Yeah,
Okay.
like the smoke.
Yes.
And some of the people who cannot tahan the curry smell.
Yeah, I think
nothing,
that
you
that's
just
still
lump
different
it.
because people always cook in their homes. It's normal, and there'll be
Yeah.
different smells.
Yeah,
That
okay.
you have to
so
It could
accept.
be belacan.
okay.
No, that you have to accept. That's what's
Yeah,
the meaning of
accept it.
living in a
But
community.
Hanging pork outside the window is not normal.
Okay.
Cooking curry for some cultures is not normal too.
Yeah, but then you don't
The
have to cook
only
what
thing,
someone else
no,
is
I
cooking.
agree, is inconsiderate.
Yes.
On the basis that you're living in a HDB flat.
Yeah.
It's a communal form of living.
Yes,
And you have Muslims around, so we got to be considerate with
Yes.
where that's concerned.
Yes.
I agree on that premise. Okay? But some people, even if it's not for business, let's say you work on a hypothesis that you just dry it outside there and then because you just love to eat it.
Okay, but you wouldn't be doing it for years, right?
There'll be different kinds of pork belly to hang. It's not the same pork bellies you're hanging outside for a few years, right?
First of all, I think if you're just doing it for your home consumption, it's fine because it's not going to be huge quantities.
So you see, so
Yeah, but this is huge quantities,
8
And this is for years, you know.
8 is
so
not
it's
huge, leh.
constant. Yeah, but it's constant.
8 is like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks of
Yeah, but you got to think this guy is selling it
of
Golden
sioba
Mile.
to
you know.
makan
This guy
every
is
night,
selling it in Golden Mile.
Okay, like I said, on a hypothesis,
Okay.
if it's for your meal,
Yeah.
it's the same difference, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's fine if you want to hang a little bit outside for your own meal. I just don't think it's right when you're doing 8 slaps every day for years.
For business.
To sell, for business.
Then it
That's
becomes.
the thing.
But then,
it
you
becomes-
have to admire.
It's the same thing as someone
No, but
opening up
Gilbert,
an Indian restaurant in your HDB.
Gilbert. Then
and
you
cooking
have
curry
to
every day in huge vats.
You have to then admire the patience of the community around there,
Yes.
because this then takes a different turn. I didn't
Yes.
realize he was
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
it for
For
years.
years.
But if he was, then I think everybody
Okay.
was tahan
Yeah.
for a long time,
Yes.
till one day this fellow said, "Take the picture and get it over."
And
with,"
especially
you know.
if he did all of this and never distributed the pork to his neighbors
Alamak.
to eat.
Yeah, and even if he did, it was an enterprise. So you have to
Because
pay.
you know, if you bake cakes at home and the smell is so wonderful for your neighbors, the nice thing to do is
to
to actually
share.
share with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, I tried, no? Sometimes before. Not in my
you're not
current
Making
place.
cake?
You ding
Or
dong ding
pork
dong,
belly?
see the peephole, they look at you. They want to open.
No.
Last week we had someone who looked
Don't
at the
open.
peephole and saw things they didn't want to see.
Yeah, but that they took a picture of. Yeah,
That
you
was
see,
a big
Chris.
deal.
Hello. My hands were full holding cake, Ken.
No, but you know, Chris, if you're very close
Your
to the
cake.
peephole, it could have been kind of scary, you see. You look at the peephole and then you see one face. And you're like, oh,
Oh, thanks. That's there's something wrong in my face now.
no,
Okay.
I think
too
it's
close
distorted.
for comfort.
Okay, all right,
Okay,
ladies.
we move on to a lovely story.
Yeah, but
Not a lovely story, but
No, I think it. I think it.
It's
I
a
think
touching
it's
story.
it's touching.
touching. Yes. Okay.
And I read this whole thing, you know, and my goodness gracious, the two old people, the
yeah.
old man and
Introduce
the
it.
old
Tell
lady.
us what it's about.
They had well, he was charged and he was sentenced. He served 2 years and 9 months for killing his daughter. His daughter was suffering from a mental disorder. It's not that the way I see it. Yes, she had a mental disorder, but she was lucid in some way too. She's educated. She was educated in
Well, there are different types of mental disorders.
Yes,
she
yes, yes,
seemed
yes.
to be a
She seemed to-
adult onset one.
Correct. Yes, she was 35 years old.
Yeah.
She had a boyfriend who lived in with them.
Yeah.
You know, but the parents did so much to, you know, to just
accommodate her, because
accommodate
she
her,
had anger
placate her.
issues.
He made her father slap her mom. He made both parents. She made the parents bow to her.
Yeah.
She was upset because the mom didn't nominate her as a sole beneficiary to her CPF.
Yep.
She you know wanted to force her brother to return immediately a $50,000 study loan so that she can buy a BTO flat with her live-in boyfriend. You know, and she told the father that he's got to work harder because they need more money, and he's a Grab driver, so he has to work longer hours. She made her mom and dad wash plates, wash
She
dishes.
basically just
to the-
bullied
yeah,
them to-
Yeah.
This
Terribly.
kind of
And then
acute
the
selfishness
the
falls
father-
under mental health.
The father took her to the hospital for to check,
Yes.
and they diagnosed her.
Yes.
She has this anxiety disorder and all that,
Agoraphobia.
but she refused to be treated.
Yes.
And then then one day she told her dad, "I'm going to kill you with this fork." And then
Is that a fork or knife?
well, that's what he said. She's threatening to kill him with a fork. But eventually she had a knife in her hand. So to defend himself, he took a pole or something and hit her. And when she dropped, he strangled her for fear of his own life.
Or
Then
he
he
could have
called-
just snapped himself.
then he-
all those
yeah,
years of
so,
abuse.
correct,
This is
correct.
elder abuse.
Correct. So the judge actually acknowledged the fact that he was suffering from depression
Yeah.
at a point when it happened.
Yeah.
But what's happened actually after that is that he was sentenced. The judge came to backdated the sentence. So based
the
on
date
a
he was
precedent
remanded.
of another case, and from the day he was remanded.
Yes.
So after that,
November 2018.
yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
after that he was released.
Yeah, on
and his
Monday, yeah.
wife met him, and it was written here. The wife met him at in the prison when he was released. He was hugging on to his belongings and wearing
Yeah.
flip flops and all. He came out and
Yeah.
they hugged, and they just quietly left.
Yeah.
I think the pain I mean, the judge even said this, that the pain, he will have this pain forever because he had to kill his own daughter.
Yes, oh my
But
God,
the judge
yes.
did acknowledge that he was dedicated to her.
Yes.
Yes.
And I mean, come on. I mean, what more can parents do?
Yep.
Years and years of serving, years and years of being a caregiver, years and years of this pent up emotion.
Which is where I'm going
It
to
is
say,
really,
yeah.
that's when you need to find ways to look after the caregivers.
Correct. And the judge acknowledged that more must be done.
Yeah.
To help caregivers.
Yes.
He said it's unfortunate that much needed help, support, and intervention were not sought by or given to the family during those years for their daughter and thereafter for the accused.
Yeah.
But Chris, I feel there are lots of organizations in Singapore who do reach out to caregivers.
Not many.
But hear me out. What happens is, and you've seen this, you see, where they are so busy just focusing on the patient or your child or who they see as the victim, that they forget that they need to reach out for help too.
Yeah.
You
Yes,
see?
yes.
And that's where they hesitate to seek out for help. And the sad part in life is that, the life was lost.
Yeah. Okay.
Now-
it's important
now
to
what
note in this
remains?
case, the adult woman was fully functional.
Yes.
She was not an invalid or something
Yes.
where the
She
caregivers.
sounds very selfish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously a violent person as well. So it's a little bit different from the kind of situation where a caregiver is looking after an invalid or older person or someone with Alzheimer's or something like that, you see. So it is tragic. And I think the other part that we need to be aware of also is very often parents in that situation will not look for help.
Of course.
And it's because they're so embarrassed themselves. They
Well,
want to keep it
see,
private.
For me, Gilbert, there's another question that came up, and I want to understand. So, yes, the daughter was diagnosed with mental health problems, and she refused treatment.
Mm-hmm.
So, my question would be, in that kind of situation in Singapore, let's say you're not violent at that time or you're not psychotic.
Yeah, you cannot be coerced into having
Yes,
treatment.
and that's what happens. And then what do parents do? They're just loving caregivers,
Yeah,
and they give and give and give till one day,
In
snap,
most countries,
snap.
you can't mandate care to people
Correct.
if they are not a threat to themselves or to society.
Yeah, so it's a
That's the
difficult
thing.
situation.
It is a very
it's
difficult
a very, very
situation.
difficult. And now to another difficult situation.
Well, now, okay, so let's finish with this story, and this is something for everyone to pay attention with. We don't hear as much about dengue as we do about COVID, but this mosquito-borne disease has already, just as of yesterday, killed as many people as the coronavirus this year. 28 dengue deaths this year alone, And this is a big increase from the 19 deaths that we had last year, and in fact, it is the highest number of dengue deaths in the Singapore history. That's the scary thing about it. And this year's dengue outbreak has been the worst in Singapore with 31,000 cases.
My goodness.
Yeah. And we are still in the midst of the yearly traditional dengue peak season, which takes place between May and October when the weather is warmer. So I think that the other thing to keep in mind is that unlike COVID, which tends to be more dangerous for older people, dengue is dangerous for people of any age. The people who died were between 25 and 92 years old.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to watch out for the signs of dengue and to seek medical help whenever possible. And just recognize the symptoms, because sometimes people don't seek medical help and they don't think that they actually got dengue, because it could be just a fever, they think of body aches or loss of appetite or nausea or vomiting.
Daisy, I got mosquito bite.
Oh my God, he really does
there. Down here. Hey, hello. These are not contagious, lah.
Not contagious.
What's wrong with you? You got
No, but
mopi-
you know why?
You got mopiko not?
Because your blood is
Mopico.
very sweet. A mosquito got attracted
Hello.
to you.
Me not diabetic, huh?
No, but the mosquito say, "Aya, who is this?" Okay, can we just end now?
Yes,
I'd like
exactly.
to end. And before, yes. So as we wrap up, any
you start with me,
any rapper is going to say something.
But of course, it's me.
So let's go for it, baby.
Okay, I want to. The stories that we covered today, what really touches my heart most is the one about the caregivers or carers, and how sometimes these people are suffering really very much in silence. And I immediately I would normally want to go and search which would be the proper one that I need to find and quote, lyrics of songs, but it came to me straight away, and it's something from George Benson, and it goes like this. this is how these people feel. Are we really happy here with this lonely game we play? Looking for words to say. Searching but not finding. Understanding anywhere. We are lost in a masquerade.
Nice.
I think it was done by the Carpenters, right?
Oh gosh.
No.
Yes, it was. But please do the George Benson version.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
Gilbert.
All right. So I think that with the case of the mentally ill woman and the poor abused parents, and with the situation with the pork hanging outside, we live in a very dense society, densely packed city, and it's very easy to notice things. So, if we can notice a pork hanging outside window, we can also notice when our neighbors might need help in some way. Whether it is, as we had talked before, child abuse or maid abuse or elder abuse in this case, we may not be able to solve it and we cannot make a huge difference, but we can try and help. And I'd like to end with a quote which I've always believed in, is that one person cannot change the world, but we can change the world for one person.
Wonderful.
And I think that's very important.
So clever, that one.
Now, for me,
So.
as we wrap up, I just want to say everything, the topics we covered, I just
Omakayam
felt
on dengue.
everything is going topsy-turvy because the security cameras watching us really got me psyched.
Somebody's watching
Pork
me.
belly drying out on those hangers and that story which really touched me about the father killing his daughter. So are these stories now indicative of something symptomatic of our society that we also need to cure? And so in the words of Jack Layton and not Omar Khayyam, I would like to end by saying, my friends, love is better than anger. Hope is better than fear. Optimism is better than despair. So let us be loving, hopeful, and optimistic, and we will change the world. And that's what all of us feel. And so one more episode of In Our Humble Opinion now comes to an end. Please follow us, please listen to us, please share and enjoy.
And be safe, not just from COVID, but from dengue, and be kind. And thank you all very much.
Namaste.
And I promise not to hang my underwear outside my window.
Thank God.
Bye, everybody.
And thank God no kotek this week. Oh, wait.
Cut already, though. He didn't cut.
I didn't hear him shout cut.
He never say cut. Yeah. Then put it back. We're still rolling. Sorry, people, we didn't realize.
Okay. And
What else are we
now
supposed to
that we're
do?
going roll,
Mommy, what else are we supposed to do? Okay, this is where Gilbert is supposed to do his stand-up routine.
Sir Gilbert,
This is
Yeah,
where,
no,
this
this
is
is
where
where-
Chris is
no,
supposed
but-
to do a striptease.
No, striptease,
What
we
kind
lose
of
money,
show?
okay?
Now
we
look,
lose money.
do we have any security cameras here?
Yeah, really.
So those could actually take you doing
Yeah,
your
I think so.
striptease
Yeah.
and
Hey, quick lah, I have to pee.
Today,
Can you hold on for a pee?
today we got no kotek story, but you want to go and pee.
Yeah, that's why.
That's private, okay?
Precisely.
Hey, remember, left hand cebok, right hand makan.
Happy,
Yes,
Chris.
I know. I even know the word
Happy.
chebo, okay?
Chebo. I'm also learning chebo.
At first, before you chebo, you must have a gayong.
Eee.
Hey,
Blue gayong with the handle. Lah.
wow, really peranakan.
And then from
Come on,
the...
lah, we cannot still be taping, right?
We're taping. I don't know why they're taping. But we're still taping. You see, Elsa looks so serious.
10
though.
minutes already.
No, lah, we got 10 minutes.
No,
You
just
okay
now he
lah?
put up the 10-minute sign.
Yeah, he put out 10-minute sign, I know. But I think maybe this is for cameo,
No,
I think it's... You cannot lah. You got to wait. The fella never say cut. How can you tell this is production?
the last time we didn't hear him shout start either.
Yeah, I didn't hear him shout
was last
start.
week.
No, he did what?
I agree.
Today he did what?
Now,
He went rolling what?
Yeah, this
Action
Order,
what?
order.
Last week I didn't hear.
please take a moment. We have to sit here till we are told to get up.
Exactly.
That's the rule.
This is
That's
like
it.
kindergarten.
So take
Yeah.
so take a breath.
Yes.
And we have to sit here happy.
Yeah, if I cannot take it, I shall
Happy,
fart in the
happy.
studio.
Okay, that's it.
That's it. You has to go now.
Cannot go
How many
yet.
times am I going to
These
be
kind of
doing
things you
Cannot
say,
go.
Chris. It's
Aiyo.
horrible, you know.
Why is it horrible?
Lucky,
You mean you
I'm
don't fart?
next to him, you know.
You don't fart.
No.
You all don't fart.
We don't.
Oh really?
And you can't prove.
My
you
fart
can't
is a
prove.
burp that got lost. My burp is a fart that got lost.
That's disgusting. Can you imagine his breath?
Now you know.
1, 2,
Oh, my
3.
goodness.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, wow.
Happy birthday, dear
Now he's taking
Gilbert.
a picture.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, wow. Thank
Blow,
you, guys.
please. Don't
All right.
spit, blow.
Make a wish first.
And make a wish.
Why were you born so beautiful? Oh, why were you born
Okay.
at
All
all?
your wishes
No
will
spit.
come true.
Right
All
up in
your
the
wishes
air.
will come true.
Thanks so
now,
much.
can you say
Thank
cut
you.
or not? Otherwise, we won't get up.
First you
Cut.
spit and then you swallow, okay?
Can we get a photo?